Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Counselling College of Further Education. As mentioned, my name is Mary Hickey, and I'm proud to be the principal of the college. In normal times, we would love to be welcoming you into our college for an open information evening, where we'd like to meet you in person and give you the opportunity to ask questions that you may have and chat you face to face about your options for courses. Unfortunately, we cannot do that at present. This webinar is called CDCFE, which stands for Counselling College of Further Education Explained. We are the largest FE college in Dublin, and we hope to answer most of your questions over the next hour. We are located over 4 campus buildings on the north side of Dublin. There's main building is in Coolett next to Northside Shopping Centre. There we have the Science Technology Department, Media and Social Care departments. Our other major campus is in Kilbarrack, right next to the Dart Station. And there we have the Business Department, Tourism, Health Science and Performing Arts. The Raheny campus is, we have a range of very extensive design department. And our outdoor education department practice a lot of their water sports and water-based activities in Malahide Estuary, and they use the Malahide Yacht Club facilities. That's just an overview of our provision. I am now going to hand you over to your host for this evening, one of our teachers, Rebecca Sullivan. Rebecca is head of our Health and Leisure department, so I will leave you in the capable hands of Rebecca. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. Again, welcome everyone this evening. So I'm going to take you through the webinar this evening. So as was mentioned at the start, if you do have any questions, please pop them into the chat, and I'm sure I'll get to them throughout, and I'll ask the different tutors along the way. So first up, we have Linda, and Linda is going to talk to you this evening about our admissions and applying to the college itself.
Hi. So first of all, what I'd like to say is you apply for all courses in CDCFE by applying online at our website. So the first important thing to note is that there are no CAO points for any of the courses in Counselling College of Further Education. And because of COVID this year, we also have no interviews. So basically, what do you do? So you go onto our website and hit the Apply Online button and apply for whatever course you have chosen. Just as soon as you submit your application, you'll get a text message straight away telling you that you have received a provisional offer for a place on the course, and that's subject to you meeting the minimum course requirements. You also receive an email that gives you the login details for your application account. And it's important that you check your junk or spam, because unfortunately these automated emails tend to go into your junk or spam. You're also told then that we'll be in contact with you in a couple of days with more information. So then within 2 days, you'll get another text from us telling you to log into your account where there are further details on your offer. And we also ask you at that stage to pay a €50 deposit in order to hold your place. We also send you a link to the student information section on our website, which contains step-by-step details of the whole application and admissions process. It tells you how to log on and pay your deposit and so on. And then in general, within a few weeks then of you applying, whether you've paid a deposit or not, your course coordinator will contact you and see if you have any questions. Some coordinators hold Zoom sessions, so there'll be some contact made with the course coordinator. For some courses, you may be asked to upload work, or you possibly may be asked to do an audition. But again, if that's a requirement, we'll get in contact with you. Okay.
Linda, can I just ask you a question there? What happens if I don't get that email, or if I lose my password or my username or something like that?
Yeah, thanks. It's very common, okay, because again, it does go into the junk or spam, and then by the time people check, it's too late. So there's no problem at all. We're well used to that. So if you've lost your username or password, or you just didn't get the email, please, you just email the college, the office in the college. The details are on our website, and we will send them out to you. So that's no problem, and it is quite common.
Brilliant. And then you did mention just one thing there about requirements. What happens if I don't get the minimum requirements for the course I'm applying for in the college?
Okay, so first of all, I said, so that offer, we give you this provisional offer that I said was subject to you meeting the minimum course requirements. So the minimum course requirements for each course are specified on the website page, okay? Now, what happens then over the summer as course fees are being paid, we ask you to pay the balance of course charges over the summer. Individual course coordinators in August will verify that you have met the minimum course requirements. So sometimes what happens as well is students will know that they haven't met them and will reach out and say, look, I didn't meet them, what will happen? So what tends to happen is, well, we take it on an individual, on a one-to-one basis. But for instance, it would have happened to me in my own course over the years, which is a science course, and that people wouldn't have met my minimum maths requirement. And we don't just go, sorry, you haven't met the minimum requirements, offer gone. What we do is we would tend to guide them to a more suitable course that we have within the college. And usually that happens. And there is the odd situation whereby there may be personal circumstances that mean, although the minimum course requirements haven't been met, we may be satisfied that we're happy enough to accept them on the course. So you will be contacted and we would engage with people who don't meet the minimum course requirements. So again, it's important though that people know we do verify that people have met the minimum course requirements. In my own case, it would be asking students to upload their Leaving Cert results after they come out. And again, we'll guide you, we'll send you texts at all the various different stages of the process. So you don't have to remember, I need to do this. We will remind people and so on. Every step you'll get reminders and be guided along the way.
And what happens if I'm interested in 2 courses or maybe 3 courses in the college? Can I apply for more than one? And what happens if when do I decide which one I want to take?
Yeah, you absolutely can apply for more than one course, and many people do. I suppose, but the only thing is keep the provisional place, would have to pay a deposit for all 2 or 3 courses, just so you're aware of that. I suppose in a way the decision is made when we start asking you for the fees for 3 different courses, and I guess people don't want to do that. So I suppose that's the absolute final. Obviously, it would be important for us and our numbers and being able to offer places to other people that as soon as possible, as soon as you think you know, you'd let us know, because some of our courses would be oversubscribed and obviously we want to give places to other people.
And then, so you mentioned about paying deposits and stuff like that. What happens if I find out that maybe I get a 2nd round offer from the CAO or even a 3rd round offer and I've already paid my fees? What happens then? Do I get a refund?
Yeah, no, absolutely you would. So first of all, we contact applicants over the summer and ask them to pay their balance of course charges. But the deadline for that won't be till after the Leaving Cert results come out. But as you said there in the question that was asked, people getting later round 2 or round 3 may well have paid. And yes, absolutely, we will give a refund, and that's refunded within kind of 3 to 4, the usual kind of banking 3 to 5 working days. So that should be refunded quite quickly.
Okay, and we have another question here as well. So just someone's wondering, if you're applying for a course that requires work to be submitted as a requirement, but you're totally new and wanting to try get into that said course, you have no possible work to submit it, how can you go about letting them know that you are still really interested in the course? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, I suppose so. If you're talking about an example, possibly the courses that look for an upload would be art or something. So yeah, so if you don't have any work, well, that's why it's so important that our coordinators reach out. So you would have, a direct email address of the coordinator of, let's say it's an art course, so one of the art programs, and you can engage with them there and explain it rather than, doing it through our main office and so on. Yeah. So we will try and facilitate everybody in whatever way we can.
So different courses will have different requirements that they're looking for. Okay.
Absolutely. In our performing arts course, we'll be looking for an audition. Okay, so we've been holding auditions throughout the year, which obviously at the moment we've been doing via Zoom. And again, you prepare a piece, but you'll get, if that's the case, we'd give instructions on what to do and so on.
Perfect. And then just small things like, do I get a student card that I can use? And then can I apply for a LEAP card and stuff like that with that student card?
Absolutely. Again, as part of our process, when we ask people over the summer to pay their balance of course charges, we ask them, there's a facility on their application account to upload a photo, and then yes, we will generate a student card which can be used for the usual, all the discounts that people obviously want to get in shops and so on, and obviously LEAP cards, etc. Absolutely, getting discounts going into events and gigs, which hopefully will be in our future.
Hopefully we'll be back to normal.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they're the main questions that have come in. The other questions that have come in are about courses that we can answer just a little bit later on as we're going. Linda, if you have anything else that you want to go through.
Yeah, I just want to mention as well, again, we'll be in contact over the summer about this, but if people, there are some exemptions to the full course charges. So for example, if people have a medical card, they would get an exemption of the QQI exam fee and the government levy, the PLC charge. So often that can mean a reduction of about €250 to the course charge. But again, we'll ask people to get in contact. They would have to upload their medical card. But again, we will give step-by-step instructions. And also there are step-by-step instructions on the student information section of our website. And again, as we have more dates and just obviously procedures are slightly changed this year, we will be updating that section as well over the course of the summer of the next few months.
Okay, and then we just had one more question there. Just as people are applying and they're getting an offered place, when should they expect to hear from, let's say, the coordinator of the course?
Usually it's within, sometimes it could be we tend to do it kind of once a month. So again, you could have just missed out, but
Okay.
2 to 3 weeks, once a month, we'll be contacting anybody who's listening there who has applied already. Okay, we'll be contacting everybody again, just by the end of May, again, just to see if any questions have come up. Obviously with the leaving cert and so on coming up, it kind of focuses the mind so people can think of specific questions. And so all coordinators will be in touch again before the college officially kind of closes in June.
Perfect, lovely. Thanks very much, Linda.
Thank you.
So guys, keep putting your questions into the chat there and we'll answer them as we're going. If there's any there that I feel are going to be answered later on, I'll leave them there for the time being. Okay, so next up we have Denise Doyle, who's one of our guidance counsellors in Counselling, who's going to go through a short presentation with you now. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you very much. I'm just going to start my slideshow there, if that's okay.
Lovely.
Now, so sorry.
You're all right. We can see that perfectly.
Sorry, can you hear the music there, Rebecca?
No, we can't hear the music, no, but we can
okay,
we can see and hear you. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I just wonder if I could just ask Helena to turn off the music on my side, if that's okay.
If you just move along to the next slide, Denise, it'll remove it.
Okay. Yeah. Apologies. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you.
Apologies about that. So good evening, everybody. My name is Denise Doyle and I'm one of the guidance counsellors at Counselling College of Further Education. And I'm going to talk to you this evening about the types of qualifications that we offer, how you can use those qualifications to progress to third level. And I'm also going to describe a little bit about the guidance service. So before I start that, I'd just like to refer you to this fan, which I think most people may have seen before at this stage. It's basically our Irish National Framework of Qualifications, and it just describes all the different levels of qualifications that we can study at in Ireland. It goes right the way from level 1 up, which is really a first year in secondary school, all the way up to level 10. Which is your doctorate or PhD level. And in CDCFE, we offer students the opportunity to study post-leaving cert courses at level 5 and 6. And we also have the opportunity for students to do add-on level 8 honours degrees as well. So just to kind of go through the different qualifications that we have on offer here at the college. So we have a wide variety, first of all, of level 5 programs, and you can use to go straight into third level education, subject to getting certain grades, of course. And these are accredited by QQI, which stands for Quality and Qualifications Ireland. Now, a lot of our level 5 programs have follow-on level 6 years also accredited by QQI. So for example, if you came to us to do a level 5 in applied social studies, you can choose to return to us the following year and do a follow-on course in level 6 social care. So, but generally students begin with a level 5 and then move on to a level 6. some students can go directly into the level 6 programs if they have previous education or experience in the area, but generally people begin with the level 5. Now, just to remind you, you don't have to complete the level 6. You can use the level 5. It's a standalone qualification by itself, and you can use it to go straight into college. The next type of qualification we have is a BTEC Higher National Diploma, which takes 2 years to complete. And the third type of qualification, as I mentioned previously, is our 1-year top-up level 8 honours degree that is accredited by our partners at the University of Wolverhampton.
Denise, can you just explain what a BTEC is a little bit further for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. So a BTEC H&D is a 2-year program, and it is awarded by Edexcel. It's a UK awarding body. And if we mapped it back onto the chart that I showed at the beginning, it actually falls as a level 6 on that little fan of qualifications. And students use it to get into the first year and the second year of related college courses in Ireland and the UK. So most of our students who go on to do our top-up year will have gone through 2 years of the BTEC HND and to gain entry to the top-up year. And that just brings me on to talk just a little bit about our top-up degrees. So at the moment, we're offering a top-up honours degree in animation, in film and television production, in multimedia journalism, and in drama. So those are the courses that we're offering at the moment. And the entry requirements, as I said, are usually that BTEC H&D, or maybe you might have a level 6 or 7 equivalent from a different institute. And you'd usually present a portfolio or maybe a show reel or do an interview to get on to those. The courses are 1 year in length, an academic year, and they begin in September and end in May. And they take place in the evening. So from about 5 o'clock in the evening onwards, over about 3 evenings per week. Okay, so just to clarify then, that if you do a level 5 course with us, you are able to apply to most colleges, most courses in most colleges to first year of level 6, level 7 and level 8 programs. So your level 6 programs are your college courses that will be 2 years in length, and they're your higher certificate courses. Your level 7 courses are 3 years in length, they're your ordinary degrees, and then your level 8 programs are 4 years or 3 years in length, depending on the program and the institute. Some arts programs, for example, are just 3 years, but they're also honours degrees. So you could use your level 5 to get into the first year of those programs. But if I wanted to make an advanced entry application into college, that would mean skipping the first year and moving straight into the second year. You would need to have a level 6 qualification, either the QQI level 6 that I mentioned, or the BTEC Higher National Diploma, which, as I said, is level 6 equivalent. And if those qualifications were related to the degree that I wanted to do, then I could make an application into year 2.
Okay, and Denise, can you give me an example of an advanced entry that's a route available for me if I go to Counselling?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, there's at the moment, we have students who are studying for a level 6 award, a QQI award in business. Now those students are eligible to advance straight into the second year of the honours degree in business in DCU, subject to attaining certain grades. And another example would be our computer science students. They're doing level 6 in computer science with us, and they can hop straight into the second year of the level 8 honours degree in computer science in TU Dublin. So that would be 2 examples, Rebecca. Yeah. So I just want to explain a little bit now about how the process works of applying to college using your QQI award. Well, let's just suppose that you are going to come to us next September to do a QQI level 5 program. By the beginning of February next year, the guidance team would have got in touch with your class and just got you to fill in a new CAO application and enter your college choices. But this time, as well as ticking your box to say you have Leaving Cert, you'll also be able to tick the box to say you have a QQI award. Then you will be able to use your award to apply to college courses that have reserved places in the first year of their program just for QQI applicants. So it's really important to note you're not going to be competing with other Leaving Cert students for those places. You will get your results from your QQI award in at the end of June. CAO will get them in July, and you'll get your offer, your QQI reserved place offer, in early August. It'll be about 2 weeks before the Leaving Cert results even come out. So, and now the number of places that the colleges reserve, especially for QQI students in their first year programs, depends on the institute. So if, for example, I was interested in going to the Institute of Art, Design and Technology, they reserve 10% of all their first year places just for QQI applicants who are doing relevant programs. And in TU Dublin, 500 of all the places for, available for first years are just for QQI applicants.
And say, for example, Denise, I've just done, well, I'm doing my Leaving Cert this year, I'm doing my QQI this year, but I didn't get, say, the set requirements at my Leaving Cert. Can I still apply to a university course just with the QQI alone?
Of course you can, absolutely. Once you've completed a full QQI award with us and got the required grades, the college won't even need to look at your Leaving Cert results at all. So an example would be, say if I wanted to do computer science in TU Dublin and I didn't get the 05 or the 06, or sorry, the H6 in maths in my Leaving Cert. If I came to Coláiste Dúlaigh and did my QQI level 5 in computer science, I will be doing maths as one of my QQI modules. And I just need to get my distinction in maths in Coláiste Dúlaigh, and that will mean that that will be taken as sufficient to meet the maths requirement. And as I said, the admissions officers won't even need to look at your Leaving Cert results if your QQI is a standalone qualification that's used instead of your Leaving Cert.
So the QQI just prepares you completely for going into those different courses. That's really good. Yes.
Absolutely, exactly.
Thank you.
Now, there is another way that you can use your QQI to get into college, and that is by using your QQI points. And it's something that people sometimes don't realize, is that by doing a QQI award, you actually generate CAO points. So when you're doing your QQI award, you do 8 modules for each, just to get a full award. Like that, a module is just another word for subject. And you get in each subject, you get either a pass, merit, or distinction grade. And then, you know, obviously you get more points for a distinction grade than you would for a pass grade. So when the leavings, you can get a maximum of actually 390 points from your full QQI award. That's like 390 CAO points. And when the Leaving Cert results come out in mid-August, you can use these points to compete for college places alongside the Leaving Cert applicants. So in the previous example, you would have been getting a round 0 offer because you would have been getting your place before the Leaving Cert applicants. But this time you'd be competing with the Leaving Cert applicants, so you'd get a round 1 offer, the same as Leaving Cert students. And
Denise, say, for example, the course I'm applying for is more than 390 points. What happens if I don't get those extra? I can't get those extra points. So what happens then?
Well, the institutes, it's the institutes of technology and the technological universities that use this system. And usually the courses where you are allowed to compete with your Leaving Cert, or QQI students compete with Leaving Cert students, those particular courses don't traditionally go over. They're capped at 390. And if it were the case that, say, suddenly one year there was a really high demand for the course and there weren't enough places available to meet that demand, then what the admissions officers would do is that just all applicants, whether they were QQI or Leaving Cert, who had 390 or above, would go into the system, and then the places would be given out via random selection. So you're once you have your 390 points, then you know you've as good a chance as anybody else of being selected. But generally, courses where the points go, say, are 400 or 410, generally you'll find those courses on this previous scheme where they'll actually be reserved, and you'll be getting your offer in round 0 rather than in round 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So kind of, if I've done my Leaving Cert and then I do a QQI level 5, I'm kind of giving myself 2 chances to get into these different programs, which is great.
Exactly, because in fact, you'll be able to still apply with your Leaving Cert results. You'll be able to apply for linked courses, and you'll be able to apply for courses where you're just using your 380 or 390 points or whatever your QQI award generates.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, absolutely. So in fact, there's nearly 3 chances.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay. And now one of the questions as well that sometimes people ask at this point is, can I use my here or there eligibility alongside my QQI to gain access to college? Because people might say, oh, well, I did my Leaving Cert, I qualified for the DARE scheme, but now can I use the DARE scheme with my QQI points to get into college on reduced QQI points? And the answer to that would be no, because your DARE eligibility is only attached to your Leaving Cert points, not to your QQI is a separate scheme. So you can't get in on reduced QQI points. However, if you do have DARE or HERE eligibility this year for your Leaving Cert, you can carry that over to next year. All you have to do is put in your old CAO number on the form, and you'll be able to, without having to submit any of the paperwork, and you can still be considered for a Leaving Cert DARE or HERE place.
Great.
So, okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in the next few slides here, I'm just going to look at the numbers of applicants from CDCFE that went on to 3rd level in 2020. So we can see there that 197 of our students were offered a first year place in level 8 or honours degree programs in 2020, and about 145 accepting those places. And we can see that we had 111 students accepting places on level 6 and 7 courses. And then we also had then just kind of a little chart here showing that the colleges, all the different colleges. You can see there, people were offered places in every different kind of college all over the country, from Galway Mayo Institute to Dunleary to, Athlone. But you can see from the chart there that the most hugely popular colleges for Coláiste students are TU Dublin and DCU. And also the same would be said of people going to level 6 and 7 programs. TU Dublin was again by far the most popular college. Now, what these charts don't show is that the number of students that actually came back to us and did the top-up degrees, those who went on to use our courses to springboard themselves into college courses in the UK, those that went directly into employment or apprenticeships, and those who accepted advanced entry places as well. So we had close to 400 students progressing on to higher education qualifications last year. So very quickly then, I just wanted to mention that there is financial support for students going into the PLC sector through the SUSI grant. SUSI standing for Student Universal Support Ireland. It's a means-tested grant. As a PLC student, you're entitled to apply for the maintenance portion of that grant. And my advice would be to apply early, because you'll get priority. If you apply now, and just if they ask you what's the name of the course that you want to do, you just put down the name of the course that you've applied for, even if you haven't accepted the place yet, and you will then hopefully have your SUSI grant sorted out by September. And just finally then, I want to mention a little bit about the Guidance and Counselling Service that I'm really proud and happy to be part of in Coláiste. We have a team of 3 counsellors, 1 in each campus in Kilbarrack, Coolock and Raheny. And we work with students around things like planning your career path, clarifying all of the things I mentioned there about progression routes. What's the best progression route for you? How to fill out your CAO form next February, how to apply for funding. And also we're very interested in helping students who are interested in using our courses to go on to study in the UK, and big popularity nowadays of, an interest from applicants who wish to go to Europe to study their degree through English, where the course fees are a lot lower than they are here. We also then, help students if they are experiencing personal issues and they would like to talk to someone or would like us to refer them to outside counselling agencies. And this year as well, we've been really busy hosting lots of webinars on things like stress management, positive thinking, motivation, and all those other things that are important to keep in mind when you are in doing a college course. So that is all that I need to say, I think, for the moment.
There's just one question there, Denise, just from your previous screen where you mentioned progression routes. Where would a student find information on those progression routes?
Yeah, well, there's 3 places that I would recommend. First of all, if you go onto the CAO website itself, and there's a little box that says QQI FETAC entry requirements. If you tick on that, there's a little drop-down menu and you can select whatever college you want. So say it's TU Dublin. When you click on that, you'll get a page which shows you all the different degrees and all the different QQI awards that link with those degrees that you can use. And the other place that you can go is to Careers Portal. And even if you just Googled Careers Portal QQI progression, you get this really great page that comes up where you just type in the QQI award that you're thinking about doing. So say it was business. If you type in that award, it'll bring up a list of all the courses, the college courses, the degree courses that link with that. And also our own web pages as well have a list of progression routes described at the end of each course page.
Lovely. Thank you, Denise.
Well, thank you very much for listening. Yeah.
You're very welcome. And if anyone has any more questions that they'd like to ask, please keep popping them into the box at the end, and we can direct them on to Denise at the end if we need to. So thank you, Denise. So next we have Shane Ahern, and Shane is one of our teachers on the Coolock campus, and he's also the department head of the science department. So I'd like to just invite Shane on now, and he's just going to talk to you guys a little bit as well today.
Hi guys, thanks very much for the introduction there, Rebecca. Yes, I'm Shane, I'm the head of the science department. So I'm just going to share my screen with you there and run through a short presentation. And really, I'm just kind of going to focus on some of the more appealing aspects of college life in Counselling and why you should choose CDCFE or Counselling. So firstly, and perhaps most obviously, I'll talk about the small classes. So if you go into university, you could be going into a class of, say, 100 or more students, and sometimes this can be a little bit alienating. Here in Counselling, there's 25 maybe students in your class, 20 to 30 students in your class. It's a small class, you get to know everyone really well, which is really important for the social side of things as well. You get close bonds with people in there, and there's a sense of community. People help each other out when they're doing assignments, and you get to know them really well throughout the year. And I suppose even more importantly, your tutor, you get a lot more one-to-one kind of FaceTime with your tutor, which is really important. The other thing that we kind of can boast is low fees. So compared to a university course, which would be a lot more expensive, you got kind of a lower risk, I suppose, with coming to Counselling, and that the fees are only between, say, 400 to 700 euro about in the first year. And that, like Linda mentioned, will be reduced if you have a medical card there. And like Denise was saying about the SUSI grant, the schemes, there's a bursary even if you're a high achiever in sport, for instance. Which can help you financially there. But not only are the fees low, but there's also a huge level of professionalism in the staff. So you're getting the same amount or the same kind of highly educated staff as you would in a university. I work in the science department, for instance. There's a number of doctors who are, you know, if they were lecturers, you know, they'd be doing research, but here what they do is they choose to focus on being educators, right? Which is really important, you know, and a really important aspect or quality of an educator to have is to be able to gauge what your level of progression is, where you're at, you know, because like, for instance, I teach maths, and I view education like as stepping stones. You can't just skip to the end, you know, you got to be brought along step by step the whole way. And you know, it's important for a tutor to be able to kind of gauge where you are, and then, you know, tailor their guidance specifically to where you're at.
Yeah.
Of course, on top of that, then the tutors, I know personally, they're down to earth, very friendly, reliable, of course, really important, and great crack. So so I'll just run through kind of how the courses are run, right? So there's 2 semesters, right? So the first semester runs from when you start in September to early January. Then you get a little break, and you're back for semester 2 from late January to early May. You do about 4 to 5 modules, depending on your course in each semester.
And then Shane, for example, what would a typical timetable be like for students?
Yeah, so for most, it'll depend on the course, but you're being like 4 days a week. You'll generally be given 1 day off to do either part-time work or catch up on coursework. You'll be in, you know, generally from 9 to 3, 9 to 4, like I said, depending on the course. But there will be, you know, gaps in that where you'll have time to, you know, go to the library, say, for instance, and catch up on coursework. So that actually brings me to what I'm talking about when I say coursework, and the assessment, how you get through the course. So lots of people are familiar with the whole you know, studying for 3 years, and it all comes down to one big exam. But that's not how we do things here in Counselling. It's mostly continuous assessment. So, you know, you can do it in your own time. Of course, you know, you'll be spending a lot of time doing assessments, but there's a deadline calendar given to you at the beginning, so you can plan that out for the whole year, and you'll know kind of what you have to do when you have to do it. And like I said, you can work in your own time. You can work at the weekends. You can do things at your own pace, which is really important. There are some exams for some modules, but they're only worth a maximum of 40%. Most were 30 to 40% of the entire module, and the rest would be an ongoing kind of continuous assessment.
And so you've mentioned, obviously, you'll be doing a lot of, students will be doing a lot of assignment work. And is there quiet places in the campuses, or is there any libraries that students can go to do their work?
Yeah, so like each campus has a specific space dedicated to well, so that students can go there and do their coursework with computers, printers if they need them. You know, there's also the newly renovated Dublin City Library next to the Coolock campus, another quiet space where people can do their work during the day. But there is one on campus, on each campus, a place where you can do your coursework.
And then you mentioned exams. So when do they generally happen for each course?
Yeah, so they're in the last week of each semester. So the 12-week semester, so they're in week 12 of both of the semesters.
And then what happens if a student fails an exam, say in semester 1 or semester 2?
Yeah, so if in semester 1, if you miss out on, whether it's that you failed an exam or you missed out on an element, say, due to whatever reason, you're given another chance. So you're given another chance to either repeat that exam or repeat that element, like a small assignment, say, for instance, to get you up to a pass. Now, you can't actually get a merit or distinction just on the second round, but you can get up to a pass, and you can progress into semester 2. So, you know, if you start off slow, you can, you know, get back on track in semester 2. In semester 2, if you fail an exam or you miss out on assignments, then it'll be taken on a case-by-case basis based on your kind of attendance, and you will be given another chance. That's the whole thing. You know, we want to help people to get through. That's what our goal is to make sure that you get through our courses, and we do everything that we can to make that happen. And actually, that just leads me on to learner support, which every student is eligible to receive learner support. So it's available to every student, and some students may need it because of it, due to additional needs. but it's there for everyone. So it's really just a kind of a one-to-one kind of class with a specific tutor who will help you to maybe interpret an assignment. Maybe you'll be given an assignment, you don't know even where to start. So they'll kind of help you to start, or maybe they'll look over your assignment and kind of give you pointers. The point is, it's there for everyone to avail of. And Etna Dave is going to talk a little bit more about that in a while, actually. So I will just finish up by just talking about the courses that we run. So there are 3 campuses, like Mary said at the beginning. The Art and Design department is run out of Hickie. Science and Computing, along with Media, are in Coolock. And then an element of the Health and Leisure there, the Outdoor Education, is also in Coolock. Health and Leisure, Performing Arts, and Business and Tourism, all done in Kilbarrack. So do you want to maybe talk about some of the courses that are run in Kilbarrack, Rebecca?
Yeah. So I'm one of the department heads in the Kilbarrack campus of the Health Science department. So I'll just briefly give you an overview. So yeah, it's a really lovely campus, really busy campus. There's always lots of different things going on between our hairdressing courses and our performing arts courses. And then within the health science side of things, we have occupational therapy, we've got physio assistant, and we've got a really well-renowned social care course there as well as our nursing course. So I'm just going to give you a little insight into one of the courses and where students will progress from there. So our nursing course is one of our popular courses in Kilbarrack, and students really benefit from this because, and this kind of goes across the board for all PLC courses, and lots of students will say that it helps them to decide whether this is the right career path for them. So instead of dedicating or launching themselves into a 4-year degree and paying all that money up front, they'll do a PLC course, they'll get to go on placement, and lots of them decide after placement, yeah, loved it, that was definitely for me. Or some realize that, oh, I don't actually like it, or I'm not really sure about it, and I'm glad that I didn't actually kind of launch into the 4-year degree. So and there's links from a lot of our PLC courses into different colleges, like Denise mentioned earlier on. Some students will opt to go to the UK, so we've got links with the University of Dundee, Napier University, and then Wolverhampton, that's already been mentioned as well. And then we're thinking about maybe possibly looking at more links in Europe, for example, in the Netherlands and stuff like that as well. Just another mention of one of the new courses we have in Kilbarrack is we have the National Hairdressing Apprenticeship, which is going really, really well this year. So we're really proud to have that being run by Counselling. And hopefully now next September, we'll have a second intake of students and we'll have a second year in that program then as well. And I should say, you work in the Coolock campus, and I know probably one of the most popular courses up there is the pre-university science course. How do I get into that, or where does that bring me to?
Yeah, it's a really popular course, the pre-university science. So it kind of covers basically all the sciences, from physics, biology, chemistry, maths, laboratory techniques, there's communications, and you get to use the office suite as well. But the course basically gears someone to go a direct link into DCU. So they do the 1-year course with us. Once you get 65% average, you're directly into DCU to do whatever course you choose that's in the science department. There's like general science, you can do chemistry courses, sports science. Yeah, lots of choices. There's a lot of choices there. And then we have an engineering department as well, of course, and that'll link you to go into Trinity. There's links there to Trinity, and then there's also another engineering course, which is like a lot more hands-on, kind of practical base as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then I saw over the last couple of weeks, there's a students takeover on Instagram and the social medias for the college. That's a new course running in the Coolock campus this year. So can you tell us a bit about that one?
Oh yeah, so the social media influencer course just started this year. So it's really a course that it's kind of like marketing, So it teaches people the fundamentals of influencer marketing, really, and it gives them a kind of a taste of what skills they are that are needed to do a media course. So if they do this course and they do well in this course, they can go into the HND in media, which is the direction they might want to go, and then from there they can do a top-up degree. So you can kind of come in at any level, and work your way the whole way up to a
Yeah.
degree if you keep on progressing. Yeah.
And then our Raheny campus, would you say that's our creative campus, so to say?
That's right. Yeah. So all the design courses will be done there in Raheny. So you've got like architectural design, you've got digital design, graphic design, interior design, fashion design, and then there's like portfolio courses as well. So yeah. So basically, if you're creative, you're in. Otherwise, you're out.
So to say.
Yeah.
We won't be the judge of that though. And then obviously, go ahead, Shane.
Well, I was just going to say about just given that we've talked about all the campuses, how do you get there?
Oh yeah, good question. So actually, the 3 campuses are really well situated, and they're all quite close to each other as well. So for example, the Raheny campus, you can get the 17A and it drops you right outside. And then that 17A still continues on up to the Kilbarrack campus. The Kilbarrack campus is also served by the Dart line, which is really handy. And then Howth Junction is only down the road as well. So if you're living in a commuter town or like near a commuter belt or near the commuter train, you can get it to Howth Junction as well, which is really handy. Then the Coolock campus, there's loads of buses that you could get to that campus. It's really close to the Malahide Road. And then the 27 literally drops you at the doorstep of the college as well. And each of the campuses do have car parking. So if you do have the luxury of driving, you can park your car on in the student car parking on each of the campuses then as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's actually news to me as well, because I tend to cycle everywhere, which is also an option for anyone who wants to, wherever you're coming from, cycle across town, of course. So just another question there. People might be interested in studying abroad. Can you do that in Costa
Oh yeah, so we do. We are involved in the Erasmus program, which is absolutely brilliant initiative that's run within the EU. So it's funded by the EU. So it kind of varies from year to year where students get to go, and it depends on the year, and it depends on what kind of plan is being set up. So in the past, we've had nurses go abroad, physio assistants, outdoor education students, theatre students, business students. Yeah, so it varies. Sports science students, it does vary from year to year, and they've been to places like Finland, Sweden, Holland, Malta, Slovenia, even to the Canary Islands as well. So it is a really, really brilliant opportunity that we do have in the college. So if students are interested in it, talk to your coordinator early on in the year, because you will have to fill in an application form and write a letter of interest as well. And then it is interview based. So however many people apply, we'll interview everybody. And so having good attendance, engaging in class is always a kind of a good, and having like meeting deadlines and getting your assignments in on time always looks good for you when you're applying for Erasmus. And as I said, it is funded by the EU, which is brilliant. So it means that your flights will be paid for, your accommodation will be paid for while you're there. And generally speaking, you're there for about 3 weeks, and you get to complete your placement while you're there. And yeah, so you'll get some money towards subsidy for the 3 weeks as well. And it just depends where you go. The cost of living will vary from place to place, so it'll just depend on how much you get as well. So it is an absolutely brilliant opportunity. So I would recommend, if anyone is interested in going abroad, definitely put your name in the pot at the start of the year as well. I think there's no more questions in the chat here, Shane. So I think we're okay to move on. And so yeah, we're going to talk to one of our students now, Rachel. So she's a current student. So thanks very much, Shane.
Yeah, all right, thank you guys. See you now.
Welcome on, Rachel. So
Thanks,
Rachel, do you want to tell our audience a bit about what you do and how you ended up in Counselling?
Thanks, Rebecca. My name is Rachel Meehan, and I just finished my 3rd year in CDCFE's media course, and I've now applied for the top-up degree. So I found out about Counselling in 5th year in secondary school after attending an open day. And I'd pretty much attended like every open day in Dublin that offered a media course. And Counselling was the last one I attended for good reason. Because straight away I just knew it was the right choice for me. There was so much diversity in the module, in all modules in 1st year. It covered like every single area. It had radio, television, photography, as well as like intercultural studies and being able to understand a piece of media from a theoretical standpoint as well. So after attending the open day, I just knew straight away that like I wanted to go there, and I didn't want to go anywhere else. So that was it, yeah.
And Rachel, did you know then that you wanted to do the degree from the start, or were you kind of just taking it year by year as you're going?
Yeah. Well, I'd originally envisioned myself going to a university, but after I think the first semester of first year, I was kind of like, this is really good because the classes are so small and you start to develop like a closer relationship and understanding of the lectures as well. And that's a big factor as well. It can be very intimidating going from a big secondary school to a university. And I find that in Coláiste Dúlaigh, unlike other people's college experiences that I've talked to, you're not a number. You're kind of, you're actually like, you're there, they understand you. You can talk to your lecturers, tell them that you're having an off day and they understand you and they know who you are. Whereas in bigger colleges, you can kind of become a part of the crowd and you're not really heard, or your talents are kind of unnoticed. So it's really beneficial. So yeah.
So what would you say has been one of the best things that you've experienced being a student in Coláiste Dúlaigh?
The people in my class are like my closest friends now. And I think the fact that it's so small and it's very communal, you're also more likely to talk to people outside your course. I have like loads of friends in the nursing course and then a few friends in the science as well. And that was a big factor because especially in bigger colleges, it's hard to branch outside unless you partake in clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
But because of the small number, it's really easy to just kind of like meet new people and have a chat. And yeah, that was probably the best part about it.
And did you find that the course being so practical, and then like as Shane mentioned, the continual assessment, did you find that really beneficial?
Yeah, absolutely. I've worked in the industry now for about 6 years. I started when I was 15. And every single thing that I've learned in Coláiste Dúlaigh, I have applied to what I do out in the industry. And especially like when you're on set, knowing the terminology for different things that we're doing or running around, or knowing your role and understanding it, or being able to operate a camera. Most of the time, you wouldn't get that in other places. Whereas I can go up to that studio in Coláiste Dúlaigh anytime I want and like go in and record something or borrow cameras or equipment. And that's been really, really helpful for progressing my career and also just like my knowledge of the area. So yeah.
And obviously you said that you've made a lot of friends and probably friends for life. Did you have a social outlet, or were there any nights out, or were there any events organized over the 3 years that you were there?
In the first year, the college makes a big effort to have open days and like nights out, or not open days, but like kind of freshers week.
Yeah.
And they'll mix a bunch of courses and a bunch of year groups, and they'll just send them off to like a club or like a pub and something like that, and there'll be food offered. And like those nights out at the beginning are really helpful to get you out of your shell. And for some students like who considered like kind of maybe dropping out and stuff, the open nights the nights out really like benefited them because they were able to go there and meet friends, and then they suddenly were like, I actually want to stay, and that kind of aspect. And then into second year as well, they basically make it so that if you want to attend any single night out, you're more than welcome. There's no kind of exclusive nights out for different courses, which is really nice. And you'll tend to kind of just like meet your friends and then go on your own nights out. But yeah, it's really, really good. There's lots of stuff always going on in the college, you know.
And obviously this year with COVID, it was a little bit different, but I'm sure there was a couple of events probably organized throughout the year.
The quiz nights and all, like there was pretty much something going on at least once a month, so it was really good. And when we were in college, it was definitely a lot more, you know, so it was it was busy. There was also
so hopefully September time, when we're moved slowly back to normality, we'll have a couple of events and a couple of nights out again. And like, so say as like you've been there for 3 years now, did you where did you have your lunches, or like what happens? Is there a canteen, or where do you go?
Yeah. So there is a big canteen there, and there's like a coffee shop that's run independently, and it's called the Curly Kale. And that was good because you could go up and you get a bit of food there, or coffee, and they sell like chocolate bars and all that stuff. And then the canteen's quite big. There's loads of tables. So we'd always just like get like if there's a big group of us, like let's say if the whole course was going to have a bit of food, we'd like grab a few tables, put them together, all sit together, have a bit of food, or go up to Northside and like have McDonald's or something like that. And there's loads of places as well. There's like an area outside, if you want to have like a smoke break or something like that. There's benches and all, so it's really, really good. And then you can sit out the front on the green, and it's really nice. So there was plenty of space, and yeah, that was probably another good part about it as well, because you always have somewhere to go, and you can even sit in classrooms depending if your lecturer is okay with it. So yeah, that was a good part.
And then I think maybe last question, like what advice would you give to an incoming student in September?
If you're thinking of applying, but you're not sure, or you feel like you don't know if you'll like it or enjoy it, or you feel like you're missing out on the things in a bigger college. I felt like that a lot of the time for even the first and second year. And I can honestly say that when you're in there and you're doing the work and you're building the relationships and the networks with the different like students and lecturers, your attitude towards that changes so fast. And yeah, I would definitely just throw yourself into anything that comes your way and go to all the open nights and try everything, and just like really kind of devote yourself to the social aspect, and the rest will just follow. So yeah.
Great advice. Thank you very much, Rachel. Well done.
Thanks.
So next we have Etna Davey, and Etna's head of our student. Oh, I can't even remember what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Etna is going to talk to you about student services and student support.
Okay, thank you very much, Rebecca. Kind of the main message that I would kind of like to give to you is that student supports are available in further ed. They're different than what were there in secondary schools, but each student that links with student support will be met. We'll have an in-depth conversation and we'll see what supports you need on this particular course. Kind of remember as well, this further ed course is going to be different. If you had difficulty with maths in secondary school, maths might not be on this particular course. So you're overthinking that there's an issue that's going to not be there. I am very aware that transitioning from secondary school to further ed is daunting for some students. If you are worried about it, make contact with us. My contact details are going to be on the last slide, and I'm happy to help any student that is worried about coming through to us. The other group of students that I'd really like to talk to in advance is if you have a high support need, so you have a lot of supports currently in secondary school and you want to know, can they be put in place again for us, talk to me as quickly as possible and I can reassure you and we can try and get them put in place for you. The other thing I'd like to say is my communication is with you, the adult student. I can initially talk to the parents kind of with you, but my communication during the year is you as a student. So kind of my contact details will be on the last slide, and happy to talk to anybody.
And Etna, just say, for example, in secondary school, I might have had a reader for exams, or I might have had extra time. Can I get those same things when I get into Counselling?
Well, it depends. Your course may have no exams. So that's why I don't like to say kind of things definitely. We'll deal with each individual student in each case, but in most cases, yes.
So I can have those same supports then.
Yeah.
And then say, for example, I use a laptop. I need to use a laptop, but I don't have access to a laptop at home. Is there any support in that sense?
Yeah. As Shane has already said, we have libraries in each of the buildings and workspaces. So you can work in the college during your free time and even your free day, and you can do your assignments there. And this year we did have a government scheme which did help students that didn't have access to a laptop, and it gave us access to those laptops. We would hope to have those available to us next year as well, that we can issue out laptops to certain students if you need one.
And say at the start of the year, I think I'm grand and I think I don't need any support or help, but then maybe come December or come January, I think I need a bit of help. Am I too late, or can I
Absolutely not. We're available at any stage. It'll just be a case of calling into the room or talking to your coordinator, who will contact me, and I'll come back and talk to you as a student. But we're available at any stage to every student.
Great. Lovely. Thank you very much, Etna. That brings me back to our principal, I believe, Mary, if Mary wants to come back on and just have a closing spiel. And
Hey, hello, Rebecca.
There you are.
Rebecca, you have played a blinder. Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Absolutely, and bang on time. Thank you very much, Rebecca. That was absolutely wonderful. Well, everybody, I hope, and you're all still there, which is great. I said at the beginning, I was very proud to be the principal, and now you know why. Absolutely wonderful, and you got a flavour of some of the staff here this evening, but they're all excellent teachers. And I suppose first and foremost this evening, I want to thank everybody who contributed, but just can I assure you that we have a large staff in the college. They're all very dedicated to their work. And if you have other questions that we haven't answered, please make contact with us. You can do it by email, by phone, and I know the coordinators will be reaching out to those of you who have indicated you wish to come and study with us. And you can also ring the college. A slide will come up in a minute, and on it you will see the college website, which is very easy to remember, CDCFE.ie. And then you will see, as Etna said, for anyone that would need additional learning support needs, and you will see the general thing as well. If you still have questions, we have guidance people who are willing to chat through your options in career guidance if you want to make contact with the college in the next few weeks. I want to especially thank IMS who assisted us in hosting this webinar this evening. And that's it. I'm very grateful to you for staying with us and listening to us, and obviously grateful to everybody who took part. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.